The following is a special presentation of the First Horizon Green Sports Zone. This is the Pizza Inn Brad Woolsey Show. Welcome back to First Horizon's Green Sports Zone, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Pizza Inn Brad Woolsey Show, where we cover everything on the hardwood with the Greeneville Green Devils basketball team. We'll recap the past trio of games with Maryville, Sevier County, and Page. We'll recap what's up next this week as the holiday classics grow closer. But first, we need to get a word in from our sponsors first, so we'll be right back after this quick message here on First Horizon's Green Sports Zone. The Pizza Inn Brad Woolsey Show is brought to you by Gateway Ford Nissan, Tommy's Plumbing, Pizza Inn, and by First Horizon Bank.
Here's a twist on your typical banking options. What if instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you had one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon. Big bank muscle with small bank hustle. Big bank convenience and small bank connection. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank.
Welcome back to First Horizon's Green Sports Zone, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Pizza Inn Brad Woolsey Show, where we cover everything on the hardwood with the Greeneville Green Devils basketball team. As always, I'm joined here with Green Devils head coach Brad Woolsey. Coach, how's it going today?
Good. How are you, Tyler?
Good. It's a little cold on this Monday morning.
It was. It's pretty chilly, but we made it, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Not many mornings do you get out at 10 a.m. and it's still in the teens, but hey, that happens sometimes. But you got to weather it to get to the sunny days of June and July.
No doubt.
And picking up on some more basketball too, had a trio of tough games last week. Maryville, Sevier County, and Page played competitive in all three, just couldn't get over that hump and get a win in any of those three. So take me through all three of those games and what you liked out of the team.
Yeah, we'll kind of start with Maryville. I felt like our guys really played hard, and I think that's one of the good things just as we continue to grow and get better is I don't feel like effort's an issue. And so we played really hard against Maryville. I think it was 9 points with about 3 minutes left, and we had I think we maybe just had hit a three. We called a timeout and really thought we might be able to get it close and make a run at them, but they put some possessions together, got a couple of easy looks, and we ended up getting beat, I think 17, but was really, really proud of how our guys played. Just played really hard with a lot of effort, and it was definitely something to build on.
How hard was it to deal with that size of Maryville also?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at them, they're starting 6'2", 6'4", 6'3", and 6'9".
It's a big jump.
And then, when you listen to our lineup, it's basically 6 foot and under. So it was tough, but the big guy hurt us. He did. There's no doubt about it. But I think some of the penetration we gave up to their guards was probably kind of the game clinching factor. And really, when we watched that film, we kind of understood some things that we really needed to get better at. And so after that game, we came back and really started focusing a little bit more on just containing drives in terms of our guards.
And then Sevier County, you got another knock at them this time. I had already played them once, so taking in what you learned from the first game into this past week's game, how did you fare against Sevier County?
Yeah, so that first game we played them, I think they ended up beating us by 40. It's obviously a game where we didn't have a complete squad. We had a complete squad on Friday night, and I think they scored maybe 70-something the first time we played. And this time we played, they scored 49. So that was definitely an improvement on the defensive end. They added a couple of guys from their football team as well. But again, it's kind of another one of those situations where I was really pleased with our guys' effort. We're still just not shooting the ball. We're not finishing very well on offense. I think we're averaging and shooting in the 30s offensively, and so that's really a struggle, and our defense has kind of kept us in some games, and that was kind of the same situation on Friday night. Our defense kind of kept us in it, but we just couldn't get over the hump in the end.
How good was it to finally be back home?
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely nice to have 2 home games, and the support we had, was great from our fans, and it's just good for the kids to be able to play in front of their peers, and that's another thing is our student section was great in both of those games, really bringing a lot of energy, and we appreciate the effort that they put in and the fun that they have, at our games.
Have there been any themed nights yet?
Not theme nights. They did have an ESPN deal, I guess,
Okay.
Friday night, where we had a few of the guys dressed up as ESPN commentators, and they had a little table set up. So it's always good to see that type of spirit at play at our games.
It's been a long time since I've seen one of those in person. Those are always pretty cool. But
Yeah.
you've had a few highlight plays so far throughout these first 2 home games also. I've seen that Taryn Clarity's been trying to rip the rim down a few times.
Yeah, Taryn Candy, he's a pretty special athlete, just really, really, really explosive. And anytime he gets on the break, there's a chance that he's going to put one down. And we want him to continue to build on that, to maybe even be more aggressive with some of the plays that he has an opportunity to make, where in some cases he's gonna jam at home when he's wide open, but there may be some situations where he needs to go do that when there's people around, because he's capable of it. And so, yeah, that was an exciting play. I think Parker had a behind the back pass to him once, and he finished with a dunk. But yeah, he's definitely had some highlight reel plays already this year.
And outside of those 2 home games also, you squared off with Page on Saturday night, a big school, a little out of our ways past Knoxville. So tell us how you fared against Page on Saturday night.
Yeah, Page is they're a good program, got a good athletic program overall, but they're from Franklin, Tennessee, just outside of Nashville. And they're a good team. They were, again, kind of a size issue for us. They were 6'7", 6'6", 6'4", and then had a couple guards that weren't quite as big, but came out, we led at the end of the first quarter, and then we were down 4 at halftime, I think. And then I think with a minute to go in the game, we were down 5, but we were fouling and not knocking down shots, and it ended up being 14 there. They went on a 9-point run essentially in the last minute, just based off of our fouls and things of that nature. But again, it's probably a little bit of a step back, whereas I feel like we have been taking steps in terms of getting better. The Page game was probably a little bit of a step back, just in the aspect of our offense was not quite, it's not been great, period, but just the flow of it, just understanding what we need to do was not quite there on Saturday night. But you're going to have those games at some point, but there's also a cost when you have those games. Games that you're capable of winning, you end up not winning, and so that's kind of the situation we were in on Saturday night.
And you're right there too. You're on the upcline. You've just not been able to get over that hump yet. So what's it going to take to get over that hump as you're starting to play more competitive games down the stretch into the fourth quarter?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it comes down to execution, and that's on both ends of the floor, whether we're on offense or defense, and then also just finishing plays. You can't give up offensive rebounds at the end of possessions, and so that's going to be a big deal. But then one of our biggest things is just being able to get the shots that we want. We've taken several contested shots early, and early contested shots are generally the worst types of shots because you're not in position to rebound. The other team doesn't have to guard you, so we really need to have more discipline on the offensive end and find what we call it the flow. Find our flow of just getting the ball moving, allowing the penetration to happen, kick outs and finishes at the rim. And if we get better at that, we're going to have some success down the road. But our execution aspect of it is really lacking right now. But some of that's going to be, again, kind of the growth process, not only in terms of everybody knowing what to do, but knowing who is best to do what in particular situations. And so that's not only growth required of a team, but also growth in terms of coaches as well.
going forward now, taking a little bit of a road trip coming up at the end of this week, going to Louisville, Kentucky to play in the King of the Bluegrass tournament, a very prestigious tournament in the state of Kentucky. We'll talk about that right after the break. As always, we need to get a few words in from our main sponsors first, so we'll be right back to talk about that tournament here on First Horizon's Green Sports Zone.
Here's a twist on your typical banking options. What if instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you had one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon. Big bank muscle with small bank hustle. Big bank convenience and small bank connection. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank.
Pizza Inn presents I Ate at Pizza Inn. I ate pizza at Pizza Inn. I ate a salad at Pizza Inn.
I ate pizza!
I ate it all.
Hi, I'm Kyle, and I'm inviting you to come and enjoy Greeneville's favorite hometown pizza, pasta, salad, and dessert buffet for just $8 all day, Monday through Friday. And then you can say,
"We all ate at Pizza Inn."
Tommy's Plumbing has been in business for 30 years, and we're still growing because we treat our customers like family. We are proud to do any job from kitchen faucet installation to a complete home repipe. Tommy's Plumbing offers warranties on most products installed by our technicians. When the job is done, our friendly professionals make sure to clean up. We invite you to visit our new showroom in Jonesboro to see our quality products for yourself. Tommy's is the only one to call when you need a fast, reliable, professional plumber in the Tri-Cities.
At many dealerships, you get what you'd expect: games, gimmicks, and shady sales tactics. At Gateway Nissan in Greeneville, expect the unexpected: low prices, convenient service, and a great buying experience.
Get our Gateway exclusive lifetime powertrain warranty.
No worries for life.
You deserve the unexpected. It's the #1 reason you gotta get to Gateway.
Shop online at GatewayNissanGreeneville.com.
Or take the super short drive down Highway 11E to Gateway Nissan in Greeneville.
Welcome back to First Horizon's Green Sports Zone, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Pete and Brad Woolsey Show, where we cover everything on the hardwood inside of Howard Henry Gymnasium with the Greeneville Greeneville basketball team. As always, I'm joined here with Greeneville head coach Brad Woolsey. So veering away from Howard Henry a little bit now, actually veering away from the state of Tennessee, going up to Kentucky, to Louisville to compete in the King of the Bluegrass tournament, one of the more prestigious tournaments in the state of Kentucky. Tell us a little bit more about what you'll experience at the end of this week once you travel upstate.
Yeah, it's a tournament that's been around for about 40 years. It started about the time that the Arby's Classic did here in Tennessee, and it's a little bit different. Whereas the Arby's or the Classic tends to bring in mainly teams from the outside the state of Tennessee. The King of the Bluegrass brings in the best teams from the state of Kentucky, and then a couple of outside teams. And so we were lucky enough to be one of those outside teams included this year. But it's a tournament with a tremendous history. Again, very much like the Classic, lots of players that have went on to play in Division I and then even into the NBA as well. So it's going to be it's exciting. I'm excited. I've wanted to go to this tournament for a long time, and so I'm excited to have the opportunity to do that. But obviously, it's a tough order. If you look at the top 25 of teams in Kentucky, I think that there are 10 of those that are in this tournament. Number 1, number 2, number 4, number whatever. You can go down the line, and you've got the best. And the team we're going to start off with is Louisville Male, who's, in terms of Kentucky basketball, maybe as far as just history and tradition, it may be the richest school in terms of history and tradition in the state of Kentucky. They've produced numerous NBA players, I think including Donovan Mitchell just recently. So have a really, really long history of producing high quality talent, and that's who we open up with.
Oh yeah, when you hear the name Donovan Mitchell, that instantly sets it off. And tell us a little bit more about what you can expect from that team too. What will they run on offense and defense? Because I know playing teams around this area, you're sort of familiar with them. For Louisville Male, it's kind of new. Have you been able to watch film on them and see what their tendencies are?
I've not. We've had film for a few days now, but just playing back-to-back Friday, Saturday, not really had a chance to dig into it and see. I know a little bit about their personnel. I know they've got a 6'10" kid that's a sophomore that's one of the top players, and he's a four-star, maybe a four-star kid ranking-wise, but he's one of the top sophomores in the nation. And then they're also going to have athletes just all over the place. And so as far as their style, as far as what they do exactly, I don't know. I just know that they're going to be long and athletic and really good.
And then saying the amount of talent that you'll play against, like a 6'10" four-star that's ranked nationally, how much does competing in tournaments like the Classic Yearly, where you also play teams like that, prepare you for a tournament like this?
Yeah, it does. I think that it's, we're a little kind of used to that to a degree. In the summers we always try and go play places where, we're not gonna see the norm, I guess you'd say, of East Tennessee. We really try to get out, and this summer we played at the University of Alabama, and you're dealing with 6'7" and 6'8" and 6'9" there, and the kids figure it out. Once they played against it a little bit, they kind of figure out what are the things that you have to do against them. But every 6'9" kid is different. Every 6'10" kid is different. There's some that are bullies. There are some that are extremely athletic, and so you've really kind of got to adjust to the type of big guy you've got. But I really feel like our kids will have at least a grasp of knowing how to play against them.
Going into a tournament like this too, how many high-quality D1 coaches do you expect to be in attendance? Yeah,
I think especially in that Midwestern area there around Louisville. You've got the Purdue's, you got the Indianas, you got Illinois, Kentucky, Louisville. You've got a lot of high-quality schools, and Purdue, they're Ohio State. They're all going to be in the area. How many are there, I don't know, but I know that I've seen pictures from past events just where there are several of those guys that are there in attendance watching some of those games, because A, it's a tournament with a great tradition, and B, it's got great players, and so that's kind of what draws those coaches in.
It's pretty cool. Tournaments like that are always fascinating to learn about.
Yeah.
And fortunately, you'll have the opportunity to compete in it this week, and also be able to sit down and watch some high-quality basketball outside of the Green Devils this week. How excited are you for it?
Yeah, no, that's good. We'll watch some. We'll probably be going to eat and that type of thing a little bit, but it is going to be it's going to be good to see different kind of modes of play, see how people play differently, and you can always get ideas for how you can incorporate that to your program as well.
Absolutely. Unless there's anything else you've got, I believe that's all I got on the agenda today.
That's it, Tyler.
All righty. Once again, I appreciate it. Stay warm.
Thank you.
It's cold out there. Everybody else stay warm also. It's going to be down into the teens again tonight, so please stay inside. Watch this inside. Don't watch this outside. We beg you not to. But that's all we've got this week. Thank you all for watching this week's edition of the Pizza and Brad Woolsey Show. We look forward to seeing you next time here on First Horizons Green Sports Zone.